Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. We are so excited to have our next guest here joining us. And she's the lady that, is all about nutrition. Right? Can I say that? I mean,
you can. I harp. Jill, let's be real. I nag about food.
No. You are amazing, and what you do, Healthy PAWSibilities. Tell us a little bit about what you do. Tell us the website. Give us a little introduction.
Okay. May as well. Okay, so yes, I'm Dr. Cathy Alinovi, healthypawsibilities.com. PAWSibilities, paw, little doggy paw. I've got a free report on the website. Check it out, because then it gives people an introduction to thinking differently. Because let's be real, Jill, if somebody's listening to you and I talk today, it's because they've probably already thought for the human family how to do things a little bit differently, the importance of food, my T-shirt that says, let's have good food. And so, gosh, let's apply it to animals because they deserve it too. They're family.
They are. They really are. They are our family. Yeah. And we got to love them all, and take care of them.
All right. So, we had some excitement down here in Florida last week.
How are you? How is everyone? Explain.
I am so grateful. I'm so fortunate. The dreaded Hurricane Milton. I have some clients who they've lost everything. But part of why I wanted to bring it up is that in the hurricane evacuation preparation that people have to go through, not only do they think for the human family, they have to think for the animals. Yeah. And let's apply this more broadly, because you're up there in New York, you don't have no hurricanes up there, but you get winter storms, you get 20 inches of snow, you still get emergency type situations. And so while I might have Hurricane Milton on my mind, it's any emergency situation. Okay. We must think about our pets also. And what are we going to do? And even may it not happen, but the reality is, as our parents age, we sometimes have to pick everybody up and go have a celebration of life. And it's change. So we have to plan, how are we going to feed the children? How are we going to feed ourselves? How are we going to feed the dogs and the cats?
Yeah.
What are people trained to do on the pets? Even if I have convinced you and you've been feeding real food and you're doing it great, you know what your knee-jerk reaction is? Go buy a bag of kibble. Well, it's just for the trip. It's until we get back. But you know what? You don't go to the store and buy 5 bags of potato chips and go, well, it's just for the trip. We'll get back on good food when we get back. You don't. You go, okay, we're going out of town. We'll go to Applebee's for dinner. We'll go to the hotel buffet for breakfast. And you know what? Applebee's will be happy to make you a hamburger with nothing on it that you can take out to the car and you can feed to the 4-leggers. And when you hit the buffet for breakfast, grab scrambled eggs. And do you know how many people who watch you do that and they go, oh my God, it's not complete and balanced. The animals are going to die.
Yep. Oh my gosh. So funny.
It's
not, but it is.
It is. And I'm teasing, but I'm not.
I know.
Listen to 45 years of programming. It's 3 human generations and about 20 animal generations that the pet food industry has trained us to think, if you have an emergency situation, you must go buy that bag of corn chips. I mean, kibble.
Yep.
We would never do that for ourselves as humans. And the fascinating thing is, as humans, we know how to have workarounds.
Yeah.
And so even my clients who were on generators for 5 days, or the people who didn't and they had to go to hotels, they still had people food. You can do it. So before you northerners have bad winter weather, think about, and you have kitty cats. Kitties love tuna. Put an extra 6-pack in the cupboard. Canned tuna. Beautiful. You can do canned chicken. You're going to have to do something to feed you humans. And so, okay, imagine it's a horrible winter. There's a terrible ice storm. The good news is none of your food is thawing and melting. But there will be places for you to eat. You will have some way that you're going to be able to do basic foods, eggs and meat for all of us. And if you want to give yourselves a little bit of potato chips, that's okay. It's just not your primary diet.
Yep. I had a whole bag of potato chips yesterday. It's just weird that you're bringing that up. I'm sorry. I did Lay's salt and vinegar, just random thing, but I did a whole bag. Sorry.
And you enjoyed it the whole way through.
Except my stomach hurts today. I did.
I have to admit, I did that. It was a long time ago. My daughter still makes fun of me. It's been about 12 years, and I was just really craving the French onion dip. Oh, God, I love the dip. Whole big bag of Ruffles. I was sick for days.
Right? And now you don't want it anymore. Yep.
I don't. It's been 12 years. I don't need it anymore. But it took care of the need then. But that was one time. It wasn't every single meal.
True.
Yeah. Yeah. And we know what we're doing when we do it to ourselves. But it's mind-blowing when I put it in that perspective of being like the chips. You knew you were having a treat or a snack and that you might have consequences. Our pets don't have options if we don't give them real food.
Yeah.
If they're eating junk food at every single meal. So there I go. I'm harping. I told you, I harp at people. It's terrible.
Don't mind. You're a great harper. You're doing the right thing. Come on. You're here helping our pets all over the world.
Right. Because don't we want them with us as long as possible?
Yeah, we do. Absolutely.
Have I told you the horror stories at how young animals are developing cancer these days?
No.
Okay. So the youngest case of cancer I've seen was in a 6-month-old Saint Bernard puppy.
Oh.
It was his mouth. It was the front of his mouth, and it started at 2 months old. Oh. This is a death sentence. It's awful. I have a client with a 5-year-old hound dog who has a brain tumor. Those are hard to find, and you don't expect brain tumors in 5-year-old dogs. So unfortunately, it took a little while until the regular vet was able to figure it out. But they did. This dog had MRIs, 6 months of radiation therapy. You know, most of us can't afford that.
No.
It's just the practical reality that we can't. And you think what causes it? The biggest thing we do for our pets is diet. And cancer is caused by what's called environment. Nutrition, your diet, that is environment.
Okay.
The rest of the environment, okay, so there's a little bit of pollution. You live in a big city, there's pollution. That's not causing cancer. It's food. It's absolutely the diet. So it's heartbreaking for people, Jill. It's awful. Yeah, you don't expect young animals. You expect it in the old ones. You know, the people.
This is the trend. You're seeing a lot of younger animals.
Oh, big time. Right. You don't think of a 5 to 8-year-old dog as being old. They're not old. They're middle-aged. They're my age. I'm not old. I'm not expecting cancer any more than you expect that in your 5 to 8-year-old dog or cat.
Yeah.
And yet it's getting more and more common, and it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. And then people wrestle with, do I do chemo? Do I cut it out? What does the animal go through? Ugh. It's tough. It's the same horrible decisions humans have to make for themselves should they encounter cancer. And honestly, humans are seeing more cancer as well. And our diets are more and more refined. And you can blame city life, but it's probably more refined food than anything.
Wow.
It's devastating.
Well,
Right.
can I also just ask? I know you're over in the Tampa Bay area, right? How did you get affected by the storm, the hurricane, and how about the pets? I haven't watched the news down there. How bad is it?
It kind of depends. Yeah, I super lucky. My house is not in an evacuation zone.
Okay.
And I've got hurricane windows, hurricane roof, so I just kind of hunkered down and waited for the hurricane to pass overhead. Only had 24 hours without electricity, but like my clients who have houses along the coast that got flooded and devastated during Hurricane Helene, so now we're talking flooding, backwash from the sewage system. Animals can't walk in this because what's an animal going to do? They want to clean it off of their body, and they're going to lick. And so they're licking sewage, human sewage, off of themselves. So a lot of people have evacuated, and it's bad. St. Petersburg, wow. There are still people boiling water. We're a week out. Yeah, we're 6 days since Milton passed through, and there's still people without electricity. A lot of people. And where do you evacuate to?
Yeah.
Some people went south, and then the hurricane turned south. And some people went to the East Coast, and there was enough wind on the East Coast that there were some tornadoes generated on that side.
Yeah, saw that.
And then some people went north, and my daughter and I really enjoyed watching The Walking Dead when it was a series. And at the beginning, when Rick is walking around, he's come out of his coma and he's seeing all these abandoned cars, and it's wall-to-wall cars on the interstate.
That's kind of what it was like.
This is people evacuating. If you don't evacuate 4 days in advance, you're dealing with no gasoline at the gas station. The rest areas are just over. They're just because it's so many people in a freak out that they're not thinking about tidying after themselves. They're thinking, oh, curse word, let's get back on the road. And it's bumper to bumper traffic. And if you don't get out early, don't go. It's tough, but it is a fact of life in Florida. We are kind of hurricane zone, just like you're in ice storm and you get lake effect snow. Upstate New York, wow, boy, do they get some lake effect snow. And you know that when you live there. And that's where people get teased for being preppers. But let's prep and let's do it in a smart way that's going to be healthy for everybody. So there I go. Herping.
Dr. Cathy Alinovi, healthypawsibilities.com. Got to remind everyone how we can reach out to her because she's so full of such knowledge and the warmth. And she's here. Go to that website. Get your free report, right? On
free report.
How you may be over-vaccinating your pet and overpaying for it. But there's so much, to the work that she does. And beautiful. Is that a new picture on your website? Wait.
Well, do I not have gray hair?
No, it's there. No. Oh, because it was I saw it like an arm, but it's you with the dog. I'm sorry. Is that your dog, by any chance?
That's me with Otto, the big smushy face dog.
Yeah,
that's my Otto. He's a big smushy face dog. Yeah.
I also read you do Chinese herbal therapy. Just random question. What is that? I don't even know what that is.
Okay, it's all the Chinese medicine. So the Chinese medicine, what a beautiful question, was 4,000 years ago, the Chinese started looking at medicine differently than what has eventually developed here in the West.
Okay.
And so with a whole lot of observation, the Chinese would go, oh, that herb tastes really bitter and it makes my mouth dry and feels kind of cold, and it ends up being a good antibacterial. So the Chinese herbal medicine, it's fascinating because we have the story like that, or that root looks like a human. It must be good for people. There's good allegories with it. But what's fascinating is that the peer-reviewed literature now takes all of the individual herbs and goes, okay, what are the active components? What do they do at the cellular level and in the body? And the science can actually say that herb that feels cooling on the tongue is anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and we get the whole pathway. So it's neat. We have a whole nother natural way of helping animals. So, of course, every first appointment with me always harps on food. And I always love when people already know, okay, I'm already feeding good food. I'm like, okay, let's get to the other stuff. Because if the good food doesn't fix it, then there's even more reason for me to talk with these people, be it virtually or in person. And it's like, okay, for example, how about kidney disease? Or how about itchy skin? Or how about, the constant ulcers along the gums that cats get, or the dreaded C word, cancer, that animals get? We can take the food that's going to be our basis for dealing with any of these health issues. And then we can add in Chinese medicine. We can add the Western herbs. CBD mushrooms have gotten really big, but a lot of just great nutrients. Acupuncture helps the body to make itself work better.
Okay.
What I call body work looks just like chiropractic, but because I'm no longer licensed, I can't call it chiropractic, but I am trained in chiropractic. And the results of my body work look just like a chiropractic.
Got it. I love it. You're so funny.
How do we make this body work its best to feel good its longest? Because that's why they're in our family.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. What my son said to me the other day, the 7-year-old Jackson, he says, I saw something on TikTok, Mom. And, that's like a young thing. I don't do TikTok.
It sure is. My daughter's there too.
But he was right. He said, our cats are going to live to their 30-something. I said, oh, well, no, most cats don't live that long. Oh, yeah, there's a doctor. And he has a special shot that's going to make the cat live. I'm like, what? So then I Google it. And it's some doctor. I don't know if it's China. But he developed some shot that obviously is going to prevent the feline leukemia or something. So I don't know. But there's this shot. So he thinks my cat's, it's not approved here yet in the States, but did you ever hear about this shot or what he's talking about?
Oh, there's some of these longevity drugs.
Yeah.
All of the stories and the movies about the constant quest for the fountain of youth.
Yes. Got it.
I think it's in the kitchen. We have to watch some of these longevity drugs. They're the people who are marketing them are genius. Because just like your 7-year-old son who wants your kitties to be here until he's 40.
Yes.
That's why he's looking for this, because he doesn't want to deal with loss. He wants them here like that, but you have to ask, what are the side effects? There's some recent medication. There's an injection called Librela that it's being touted as, if you have a senior dog and he's all ouchy and arthritic and this is going to be magic. Yeah, except for the dog that it makes him paralyzed and right away after the first shot and he can't walk for 3 days.
Yeah.
And I have a client who did that because they have an aging Labradoodle and the man is arthritic and his parents are amazing. They get him rehab therapy. He goes for acupuncture. He comes to me for body work. We've got him on Chinese herbs. We do all these great things for him. But the regular vet said, there's this new shot called Librela. And of course the owners want him to live forever. He was paralyzed and couldn't walk for 4 days. So we always, anytime, and listen on TV, they tell you, this drug is great. And then at the very end, you hear them talk about
kill you, die, death, kidney cancer. And it's like, what?
Right. So always be sure to ask, what are the side effects for these medication? And many times, Western medicine, the side effects cause exactly what you're trying to treat.
Oh, it's crazy.
So if you're trying to address weakness in the back end, it might cause weakness in the back end. Anti-vomit medicines that are really commonly given, side effects include nausea.
That's so funny. You always hear that at the end of them.
It's terrible. And what that means is that it's the wrong drug for that animal. And you don't really know until you try it. But it's fascinating because Chinese medicine recognizes that. Chinese medicine says, okay, kidney disease. Well, that's nice. There are about 17 reasons for kidney disease. That's what Chinese medicine says. Western medicine says, kidney disease, it's all the same thing. Your kidneys are failing. But in Chinese medicine, you want to know, is the cat warm or cold? Do they like water? Do they like to lay in the heat in the sun? Do they go away from it? You know, it's constitution, it's body type, it's all these things. Do we have dandruff? What are the underlying causes? And there are literally 20 different formulas for kidney type issues. And when there's my really long circuit back to your question about what Chinese medicine is about.
It's okay.
Look at Fluffy. What's the pulse? What's the tongue? What does the hair coat look like? What's our personality? What are the symptoms that go with the kidney disease? Okay, here's the herbal formula that best matches your pattern. Western medicine is a little bit, even though we're very detailed, nitty gritty, at the same time, heart disease is heart disease is heart disease, but it's not. Yeah. And so it's neat. It's cool. We call it a tool in the toolbox. It was interesting when I was still doing Western medicine to take all of my Western medicine info and all of my alternative and to hold it all at once and go, what's the best for this animal? Because there's some animals that do not like herbs. And there's some animals that do not like Western medicine. And there's some owners that don't like one or the other.
Got it.
And yeah, so how do we match what the patient needs? And honestly, human alternative medicine is the same, but I don't know anything about people without tails. So you're off the hook. I'm not going to talk about people without tails.
No problem. Wow.
So that's Chinese medicine. Yeah. And that's, with the virtual appointments, I've got people, they put their dog on the camera and I say, okay, ooh, look, I can see the tongue color. And then they show me the body and turn it around and we get good descriptions and all that. And absolutely, virtual works just as well with all that good stuff.
Got it. Wow. Well, we still have just 3 minutes left in the show. And we know nutrition is important, food therapy. We talked a little about Chinese herbal therapy or acupuncture, right?
All that.
What else do you want to share from healthypawsibilities.com today?
Today, I just want to really say, if you're planning for any we always have to make emergency plans.
Yep.
So we think about the people and we have this habit of thinking, I'm just going to grab that bag of crappy dog food and that's my emergency food. But let's start thinking differently about that.
Got it.
Because I don't want you to have to bug out or whatever and put your kitties back onto the crap that then makes them sick. And then we've got to undo it all over again.
Yep. One random question. Hold on. Is there anything that a cat could eat that will prevent hairballs? Or they're all going to lick themselves all day. They're always getting hair and they're vomiting.
I'm going backwards on that. And I'm going to say to you that the reason that they shed is because they're inflamed because of the food.
Got it.
And so if you switch them to real food, the shedding should go way down. And then coconut oil is a nice natural laxative where people tend to get that it's petroleum. I mean, do you really want to eat petroleum jelly? No. Do I want to give that to my cat? No, but that's what most of the cat laxatives are. So how about coconut oil? Okay. So if your cat's shedding so much that we have hairballs, we are inflamed. And that's why we're licking and we're itching and we're cleaning out the fur. And so, see, that's a beautiful question.
All right. Interesting.
And you see, I went back to harping.
I know.
Because I'm the harping queen. It's lovely. Thank you. You set me up.
You're a foodie.
It's like we planned it.
Well, you are clearly just full of energy, full of wealth of knowledge, full of how to take care of your animal the best way, the most healthy way. And we love that you do that call. You can go in office. You could do a virtual call as well. And how do we contact you one more time?
HealthyPawSibilities.com. I'm on Facebook.
Yay.
I think I have an Instagram page.
You're so cute.
I haven't done anything.
I know some of us more active than others, but that's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah.
How else do we reach you?
HealthyPawSibilities.com.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Always a pleasure having you here. Thank you for the information and have a fantastic day. We'll talk next week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Cathy. Bye-bye.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips that you plan in advance, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends for which you make a group chat 3 months before so that nobody or anything is missing? Or your daughter's first birthday party. You planned it with such dedication that instead of the first, it felt like our 15s. The same way you plan each detail for those moments. Start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit. And make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.